Students, in our previous class we have discussed about temperature. Today we will learn how to measure the temperature. So, in hospitals, doctors use one device to measure our temperature. We call it thermometer. The type of device which used to measure our body's temperature is known as clinical thermometer. Let us understand the structure of clinical thermometer. The thermometer has long narrow tube with the same thickness. It has a bulb which contains mercury. For reading of temperature, there is a scale middle of the thermometer, and the normal body temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius. However, it can vary from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Therefore, the reading of clinical thermometer ranges between 35 degree to 42 degrees Celsius. So, here we can say that the degree Celsius is the unit of temperature. There is a very thin tube in the middle known as the capillary tube. The curved one, you can see it in the picture, known as the kink. When we heat the bulb with the rising of temperature, mercury expands in this capillary tube. The bend in the capillary tube, that is known as the kink, it prevents the mercury from falling back into the tube immediately. So, we get more time to read the temperature. If there are 10 divisions, then each division signifies 1 by 10, that is 0.1 degree Celsius. If there are 5 divisions, then each division suggests 1 by 5, that is 0.2 degree Celsius. How to use a thermometer? Before using the thermometer, we must wash the thermometer with the antiseptic solution. Also, give some jerk to the thermometer so as to bring the mercury level falls below the 35 degrees Celsius. Now, place the bulb of the thermometer under your tongue and leave it there for 1 minute. Let the mercury level expand into it. Now, take the thermometer out and find out the reading shown by the mercury. Now, you can identify your body temperature. Here is a sample value which is shown 37 degrees Celsius and 0.4 degrees Celsius. That is 37.4 degrees Celsius. For temperature measurement, there are units other than Celsius, such as Kelvin and Fahrenheit. And always remember, never use the clinical thermometer to measure the temperature of any hot object. Now, we will quickly summarize whatever we have read previously. So, temperature is measured by a device called thermometer. Temperature is measured in degrees. Temperature is measured on two scales, mainly Celsius and Fahrenheit. Celsius is the symbol for Celsius scale. Fahrenheit is symbol for Fahrenheit scale. The Fahrenheit scale is most popular in the United States, whereas Celsius scale is most commonly used in Canada. Let us understand why we use mercury in thermometers. Cause mercury is a metal which is in liquid form. So, on exposure to heat, it can expand. Look at the picture, it is expanding. The red dots are indicating that the mercury is expanding. Okay. So the level of mercury increases slowly and stop at a reading. That reading gives the temperature of the body. And by reading the mark on the thermometer at which mercury stopped expanding is the body's temperature. So I hope now it is clear to you that how we measure our body's temperature. Now a clinical thermometer should be used with care as it breaks easily. If broken, the mercury may leak and it is not usable again. and also mercury is very toxic. So there are some precautions which we must maintain when we will use the clinical thermometer. Let's see what are the precautions are. We have to make sure that thermometer should be washed before and after use, preferably with an antiseptic solution. Ensure that before use the mercury level is below 35 degrees C. It must be below 35 degrees Celsius. Read the thermometer keeping the level of mercury along the line of sight. Alright, like this. Okay. Handle the thermometer with care. If it hits against some hard object, it can break. Don't hold thermometer by the bulb while reading it. It might affect the expansion of mercury. Already learned that to use normal thermometer we have to take some precautions because of that thermometer is very delicate. That is why nowadays we avoid those thermometers and we use this digital thermometer. So next one you will learn about the laboratory thermometers. Laboratory thermometers are used for measuring different temperature of different objects. In a laboratory, we use a thermometer to measure the temperature of gases, liquids and solid for accuracy in the experiment. So that is the use of the laboratory thermometer. Next, we will find the difference between the clinical and laboratory thermometer. So first of all, it is used to measure the body temperature, and here it is used to measure the temperature in laboratory. It is graduated from 35 degree to 42 degree centigrade, and on the other hand, laboratory thermometer has a range from -10 degree to 110 degree centigrade. Here there is a kink near the bulb to prevent the fall of mercury level, and here there is no kink present, so mercury level falls on its own. In clinical thermometer, jerks are given to lower the mercury level, and in here jerks need not to be given. So next one is clinical thermometer. Temperature can be read after removing from the source, but in here laboratory thermometer, temperature is read while being in contact with the source. So these are the difference between these two kind of thermometers. Now, why we cannot use laboratory thermometer to measure our body's temperature? Because of, in case of clinical thermometer, there is kink. But in case of laboratory thermometer, kink is not present. The kink prevents the mercury present in the capillary to fall back in the bulb. So it separates the mercury at high temperature and cool mercury and allow the user to note the reading when the thermometer is taken out. Whereas due to the lack of kink, the mercury will fall to the bulb as soon as we take the thermometer out of our body in case of laboratory thermometer. That is why we can't use it. And another point is, laboratory thermometer generally ranges between -10 degree to 110 degrees Celsius, while the normal body temperature in human is only 37 degree. That is why we cannot use it to measure our body's temperature. In case of laboratory thermometer, we must use some precautions. Laboratory thermometers should be kept upright, not tilted. Bulb should be surrounded from all sides by the substance of which the temperature is to be measured. The bulb should not touch the surface of the container. Look at here. See, the bulb is not touching the surface of the container. So that is all for today, students. So read these topics very carefully. Thank you, students.